everyone, Z Lopez here, marriage and family therapist, licensed professional clinical counselor, and entrepreneur coach. So it's been a while since I've done it live, but I wanted to share with you something special today and how it relates to our mental health, our emotional development, and just people in general. So lately it's been raining a lot, and I've noticed a difference between the plants that I have, right? And I want to introduce these as an example of how we can choose who it is that we share our energy with, who we choose as friends, and who we choose as partners in business, right? And people are like, Z, like, what does this have to do with plants, right? Well, as of last year, I was challenged for the year to go ahead and grow something. It could be a plant, it could be vegetables, it could be anything. And I'm working my way up to growing more things. But this was the one that I chose. I went with bamboo when I was given when I was given this challenge, and people were like, "Z, like, why did you choose this?" Because I was told that bamboo was very minimal for maintenance and it didn't need much, right? And I'm rarely home. I work a lot because I just love what I do. So this is what I chose. And we'll get to this in a minute. So each plant that I have has a different quality, and I want to show you how I actually associate that with my life and how you guys could do the same. So when we first start out, right, in business and friendship and anyone, we have what we call this pot, right? Especially ourselves. When we're really young and we're not really sure about ourselves or we're still trying to figure things out, we're like this little tiny plant that doesn't have these beautiful blossoms yet, right? These flowers, these fruits. And this is what it looks like. Or this tiny itty bitty little pot. This one's me because it's pink, right? And inside, as you could see, like there's soil and I have a little bit of seeds in there. So what I chose for this one is sunflowers. We'll see if they bloom. But in order for this right here to blossom and to bloom and see these beautiful flowers, it needs sun, it needs good soil, and it needs water. And just like some people are sunshine in our life and it just gives the energy that it needs for photosynthesis to occur, it's the same thing with people. There's certain people that are just sunshine in our life. They're very supportive. They always have this great message for us. Versus others that are not so much. They are the cloud in the sky, right? They only come to drop off, not to pick up. It's not a mutual relationship. And sometimes as we grow as pots throughout our life, throughout the phases and transitions in life, we will find that some people are still at this stage, right? And here's where the problem occurs, just so I explain a little bit more. The same way we are with this pot is what happens when others are growing out of it, right? And this is what I mean. So I have this beautiful plant here. I'm going to show you guys. This is one of my favorites. It was given to me by somebody with lots of love. But unfortunately, as you can see, there's half of it that's beautiful and growing, and the other half not so much, right? And this is what happens when we stay in relationships romantically, in business, or in friendship, even with family, that don't grow us and we don't grow them. So there's a two-way street here to really think of the perspective. So the first one is, does this grow me? Does this person provide something of motivation or something for me to get to the next level? Because if not, this is what might occur. This might be you, right? You're flourishing, you're beautiful. But if you get placed next to a plant that's dying, doesn't have enough water, soil, or sunlight, it will start to suck the energy out of you. And it's so funny that this actually happens with plants, but it happens with people too. Nature is a mirror for us to actually see the interaction between humans. After all, we are all one with everything, right? So, as you can see, this is dying here. It didn't get enough of something. I'm still not really sure what it is, but I'm going to figure it out because I love this plant, right? So here's a great example. This beauty right here, as you can see, it's flourishing, it's growing, and it has lots of volume, lots of greenery. And even though it has this, it does have a little bit of death. It has a little bit here and here. It has kind of a need for something, but it's not really sure what. So let's pretend that this is a person, right? This plant right here, as beautiful as it is, it's partially dead. It has no growth coming in, right? It's only sucking. A lot like people. They don't work on themselves. So if I place this plant next to this one, more than likely, this plant is going to reach to this one for something it has. This is why a lot of times you'll see crooked trees and you'll see the tree just kind of going towards a certain direction. And you wonder, why did that happen? It's because the tree wasn't getting enough of something it needed, whether it be water, it was good soil at the bottom, or the sunlight. More than likely, it's the sunlight. And this is what happens with people. They start to grow in such a beautiful way that they start to reach out to others outside their circle, outside their normal quote unquote friends that they hang out with or kick it with. And then they start to wonder about the friends that they have. Are these the right people for me? I don't know why, but I'm feeling disconnected. Well, that's the reason. It's because they're not growing and you are. You need a bigger pot. You started off like this, but now you're one of these plants. This is the goal right here. So, bamboo, let's talk about this one. This bamboo particularly actually has a little bit of sadness, as you can see right here. It's same thing, it's not getting enough of something, but overall it is flourishing. I've had this one for about, I want to say like 3 years, and this is great growth for a bamboo in 3 years. Eventually it'll be nice and big. The beautiful thing about bamboo is that it's really, really strong, but the flexibility is on point. It's undeniable that the flexibility is there. And this is such a metaphor for people, once again, in real life. The flexibility is a big factor. I chose bamboo because it's not that high maintenance. It's flexible. It could do or not with the little that it has. But once again, you want to ask yourself, which plant do you want to be here? Do you want to be the little plant that just doesn't grow and stays in the same pot, same people, same conversations? This is the type right here where you're feeling like the conversations don't fulfill you. They're not thriving. They're not fulfilling. They're just not. That's exactly what it is. And if you feel this way, your plant, you're too big for the pot. You need to move along. You need to get a new one. Or you're this one. You're growing, but you're having the life sucked out of you, out of a relationship romantically, in business, friendship, something. Something's not right where you're not getting what you're needing, right? As beautiful as it is, as you could see, it's going to be only a matter of time before it dies. On this side, as you could see, right, the rotting. This is a person that tries to look for self-development classes, perhaps maybe even therapy, coaching, and they're trying to look for other alternatives for them to become a better person. And this one right here, I love this example, the bamboo. I like to think of myself as bamboo, that I'm strong, but sometimes I need to work on the flexibility, right? What if this person will grow me in different ways? So what I learned from bamboo is grit. Is exactly that. It's just the consistency and persistency. Nobody likes to wake up early and just do what it is that they need to do. They rather sleep in bed or snooze, right? So I've made it my mission to wake up every single morning, 5 a.m., and regardless of how I feel, to get up. That's what matters. So I see we have some commentary here, so let's see. That's all right, no worries. I'm just glad you're tuning in. So if you guys have any comments about this or anything you think that plants can teach us, please let us know. So once again, back to the bamboo. The flexibility that it has is what makes it really unique. But as you guys can tell, I don't know if you can through the camera or not, but I placed it in this container and it's growing at such a quick rate that it actually broke through the first layer of the glass inside. So that shows you that people are able to break the glass ceiling as well. It's telling yourself what it is you're going to do and with what passion and what determination. Plants are really interesting. I used to think that my grandmother was, just a little out there when she would talk to her plants, but she was right. So she would say, oh, you look so beautiful. You're the best. You have the most beautiful leaves. Let me put you next to the sun so you could get an extra kiss of the sun, right? And it's the same way with people. We are made of molecular structure. We are all made of cells, and both of us thrive off water. Our bodies as human beings are 70 or more % water, right? Plants need that to survive too, otherwise they can't do photosynthesis. So the question is, what messages are you sending yourself as a human being? What are you saying to yourself? Because everything you say, whether it's bad or good or negative, your body is listening, right? So I had a question in here that says, what do you think of succulents? Yes, I love that question. So succulents don't need too much water. They're very low maintenance, but beautiful nonetheless, right? Especially in those desert scenes where they're just they stand out so well because everything else is really just desert or just landscape except for the succulents that are just living and thriving. I like to think of succulents as survivors. I like to think of people that have been through so much and they don't really need much to thrive. That's the people that are extremely resourceful. I've always heard this and I've always believed this, that it's not a lack of resources, it's a lack of resourcefulness, right? It's people that thrive with very little. That's succulents to me. People that say, hey, just give me a computer and an idea and I can make this happen. I can make my rent happen. I have the willpower and the grit to do it, right? So one of people that are tuning in say, I love succulents because they are strong and durable even through tough times. And once they are happy, there is already a flower that blooms from them. Absolutely, I agree. Fun fact, my favorite fruit is the prickly pear, and it's the fruit that grows off the cactus, right? And that just goes to show you that fruit is possible anywhere. That's why I love plants. They're such a great metaphor, especially flowers too. And flowers, they could show us that they need sunlight, they need care, they need this beautiful hands just to be there, just to pick them and put them in the perfect place, right? So going back to this one, this goes back to energy. So I was given this plant actually by a very special client of mine. And this coaching client gave it to me because they said, I know that you can make it happen. And what was interesting is they gave me the plant where it was already a little sad. And I was like, why would they give me a plant that's already kind of sad, right? But they're like, because I know that you'll give it a good home. I know that you'll take care of it. And in Spanish, they told me you have a good energy, you have a good hand, so you'll be good. So the reason I'm sharing this one here and why it still has a little bit of this is because it's recovery. But overall, it's beautiful. It's nice and green, as you can tell. I did have someone help me switch out the soil. So that was important as well as a metaphor. That when things are not going well, sometimes you just got to switch it up. You've got to plant yourself in a new environment, new people, new work, find a new job, find a new bae, find new friends. It's okay to make new friends. We're not trying to play a Drake song here with no new friends. So energy is a big thing. Plants also pick up on the energy wherever they're placed. So whether it's in the home, the office, or even outside, you can tell what the environment is like or what it sucks in because of what it's projecting out. People and plants are a mirror for us as humans. So what I'm noticing here is that it's not getting enough sunlight. It's not getting enough of the nutrients it needs to make photosynthesis in certain parts of this plant. So what I need to do is turn it into the sun like this. And what does that mean for people? It means that sometimes when we're doing something, we are either trying to make it work when we know it doesn't, or we're not open to other options, right? And this is important to think about with energy with people. Think of energy as colors. If any of you are familiar with the color wheel or the primaries, right? We have the primaries, which are red, yellow, and blue. And this is for any art major or anybody that even deals with art, right? Primaries. And when you mix those, you get secondary colors. And I want you to consider that when you mix your energy with other people, whether it be physical, spiritual, mental, sexually, in any kind of way, right? Even in business and friendships, you're going to mix your colors together. You're mixing their energy with your energy, and you're going to get a new color. It does not stay with your same energy. You don't walk out the same. This is why some people say, after I met them, I was just different. They brought a new light to my life. Yeah, because your energy is not the same anymore. And this is what a lot of people perhaps do or do not take in consideration. Plants are a good example of this. They will reach towards the good, yummy, healthy plant. They just will naturally. What happens when one plant is dying and the other one is not, the one that's dying will try and latch on, and the one that's healthy will just curve them. They'll literally swerve the plant that is dying. And it's the same thing with people, of knowing when and where to pick up that energy. So in closing today, I just wanted to give you guys that really quick and just a thought about plants, right? What do you want your environment to be? Do you want it to be this beautiful greenery with lots of room to grow and to play? Or do you want this tiny little pot right here, right? At most, maybe a flower can grow out of it. But imagine if you stay at this level, you won't be able to do everything it is that you're wanting to do. You won't thrive as much as possible. You won't create as much as possible. Be careful who you choose to be in a pot with as well, right? As you can see here, there's different seeds. And same thing, just like the saying, right? Like they're a bad seed or they're not good for you. Consider the people that you're sharing a pot with, right? So we have another comment. It said, we should talk to our plants or play music for them as they respond to good energy. Absolutely. I'm a big believer in that they do listen to the music, right? But so does our body. So once again, remember what it is that you guys want for your soil, your sun, and your food source. And food source sometimes can be, it could be religious, it could be spiritual, it could be other people that support you. So there's my timer, and I'll let you guys go.